Welcome. This is China Today. We are going to talk about Saihanba National Forest. This is now a national park. It is a tourist attraction. The red dot there is the location of this man-made forest. It is about 92,000 hectares large. Its northern boundary is the southern edge of the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. From the color of the map, you will see that it is bordering between a desert. The importance of that one is that it is north of Beijing, and during the times when the wind blows, then many of the dust storm in Beijing originates from this region. This is a more close up of the region. It's a very large area. Climate wise, it is in the cold temperate monsoon climate zone with an average annual temperature of 1.3 degrees Celsius. Its snow season lasts for about 7 months each year. The earliest record of snowfall is in August, and the latest is in June, so sometimes it may last up to 10 months. A little bit about its history. For a long time, since Liu in 907 AD, until the end of Qing Dynasty, 1911, it has always been under the imperial household. It is the hunting ground of the emperors. And in 1681, one of the Qing's emperor, Kangxi, actually put up a moorland paddock in the area as their stations when they go hunting. By 1863, the Qing government allows farmers to reclaim land there. The forest and the wetland was beginning to disappear. Coupled with fire, then it becomes a barren desert, and that provided sandstorms which plague the Beijing, Tianjin, and other northern Chinese cities. So in 1962, in order to stop the sandstorm, the State Forest Administration set out a plan to plant trees in this once a very lush grassland. So they started tree planting. And in May 1993, it was designated as a national forest park at that time with no trees, except one. But by 2000, it now is a 5A level tourist site. Sorry, I misread the age just then. In May 1993, so that is already many years after 1962. It is now a forest. Okay, let's see how barren this is. The logging, the wildfires, etc., eventually wiped out the forest and the grassland. So by 1951, it is barren. But there's a survivor, this tree. This tree is now called the Tree of Honor because it was left alone there and still living in the 1962. So the scientists think since this tree can live here, that means its children, okay, the seeds from this tree, should be able to live in this piece of land. So many of the trees thereafter originate from this tree. About 120 forestry graduates joined about 242 locals to start rebuilding the forest. Over the next 55 years, they obviously have overcame many difficulties and setbacks. This is some of their photos. So they were digging on sand and then trying to plant trees. At that time, their living conditions is really bad. So these are some of the huts for the first generation tree planters. They live on pickles, dried up buns, and melted snow. By now, some of them has raised some happy family. The gentleman here is now 81 years old. He moved to this Saihanba forest in 1962. And then he asked some of his relatives also follow his footsteps, join the forestry work, and now they raise a happy family there. Among the workers there, one of the things they need to do is patrol the forest. So this is showing one of the forest ranger who saw his daily patrol journal to the journalists. Among them also firefighters. These firefighters have to make sure that there is no forest fire. So they are also patrolling the region. But most important of all is using fire watcher towers. So this is one of the watcher towers. And this couple has been a fire watcher for a long time. Fire watcher is a very lonely job. Obviously, this tower is not built close to each other. They are separate as far away as possible in order to provide more observation about the forest. So they are far apart, and they usually live there alone, probably with their family. So here is a diagram of them at the top of the tower. Of course, there are communication equipments. Most important of all is the telescope. The lady is holding a binocular and in her hand. Being so lonely, he can paint. So he is showing off his painting. By now, the forest is mature enough to harvest some of the wood. So one of the manager here is checking out the roots for the wood, which will be sell to generate some income for the people working in the forest. As I said, it has now become a national forest. So for the rest of the video here, I'm going to show you beautiful photographs about this forest, and I will try to accompany it with a traditional Chinese background music. I haven't searched for the music yet, so I will try to find some traditional Chinese background music to accompany the rest of the video. So enjoy.
迎来